All right, so we're up and going. I know I have to put a couple more up online. I'll try to get that done today. Questions, anything else as we're getting ready? So today we're gonna work on the back cover for the magazine. Gonna kind of do some page numbering. Okay, and we'll set that up on our master page. And then we'll kind of be done, and I'll show you how to save it as a PDF, and we should be good to go. All right, I've been getting your posters coming in, so if you haven't, please send that over, and we'll get all that up and get that all updated soon. All right, anything else before we switch over to InDesign? All right, so let me switch over. All right, so here's what we were working on Monday. Okay, so what do we have left? Again, we have the back cover down here to do, and I'm going to put some page numbering in. We can set that up on the master page. And the back, I think I'm just going to kind of do kind of a more of a photographic kind of back cover. You know, maybe some information about, you know, coming in the next edition, that type of thing. So again, it's kind of a open free for all, get creative kind of space. So let's first get the master pages going. Okay, so again, we're going to hit pages up here, get that tab going, and we have our master page. And right now we have our master page A, and you can see the A's on each one of the little page documents. And at this point, there's nothing on the master page, right? So it's completely blank. So I'm going to open that up here. And what I want to do is I want to add a page numbering. Okay, so go to here. Okay, we got that going. Making sure we're in. Okay. So I'm going to insert a special character into the corners down here. And I'm just going to drop that for now. So I got a text box, insert special, and we're going to put current page. Okay, so special characters under type, markers, and current page. Okay, so now it's got an A in there. You can zoom into that. And now it's a time for us to go to properties and give it a typeface. I'm going to go with the Muso. And we can pick the size. At this point, we're 12 point, and that should be sufficient. And I'm going to actually move this down. I want it just below that margin, or that kind of guideline there. So we've got that there, and I can actually just kind of copy that. Just copying it over. I'm going to put this on the other side also. So this is just kind of this little A, again, it's just kind of representational of A, well, master A, but it's going to be, we can see the font that was changed there. So now I'm going to get that lined up. I think I'm good. I'm just going to put a guide in just to make sure. Come back over here. Check my guide. So again, you can pull down from the rulers, the guide, if you want to. And pull that down just a hair. All right, so now I think where everything's lined up. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to just check my pages and see how they're working. Okay, and over here, we've got nothing because it's behind. We got page 3 here. And we've got up here, there is a page number, but it's behind the picture. So in this case, I'm going to be fine. Okay, but what I really want is a no master on that. So I'm just going to drag down none. Okay, so therefore on that one, there is no page numbering in the background. On this one, I'm going to go here And what I want to do is I'm going to unlock this layer. Remember, I locked that graphic last week, so it wouldn't be a problem. I'm going to scooch it up just to be able to see that object. And what I did was I clicked Command and Shift, okay, and that allowed me to select that item that's on the master page. And I'm going to bring that to the front, and that should put it there. Let me just double check. It did. And in this case, oops, I'm going to make it white because it is black, and I think the white will read better on that orange background. Okay, so we've got that there. We've got page 3 over here. I'm just double checking my pages 4 or 5 over here. It looks like they're lining up okay. Likewise, we have one here, 6 and 7. Now in this case, I'm going to just kind of leave the page number behind it, okay? Because I don't want it to kind of interfere with the photograph. I think you can figure out that that was page 6 and this is page 7. You know, so I don't think it's going to be a problem communicating or having people understand that. Okay, now we do have one back here on the back cover, and that would not have a number, okay, on the back cover. So again, this is where I'm going to give it the none master and drop that in. Okay, so that took that page number off of there. So we have numbers on pages 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which we did from our master page. Now I'm going to put one little thing else. I'm going to put a little header up here. I want to put it kind of here, and we have the magazines called Your Parks. So I'm going to go back to my master A, and what I want is just up here in the top. I'm just going to type it in now. And I'm going to again go back to picking my typeface. I'm going to use that same one I was just using, that Muso. And I'm going to give it a little bit bigger point, and I'm going to push it over. Okay, so we're now on the edge. And again, I'm putting it above my guide. And I think I'm going to do a little line underneath just to give it a little bit of accent. I'm going to draw it here, and I'll move that up. Hold the shift, and it'll give you a straight line. And we're going to give it a stroke of 1, 2, and we're going to get a little crazy here. And we're going to go with a thick, thin. Let's pull it up just a bit bigger. And I'm just going to move my arrows to drive it up to the top. Zoom in, get a little bit of detail there. Looks pretty good. All right. So now, on all those pages, the ones that we have the master A on, we're going to see that at the top. Okay, so it'll be just only on the right side. That we see that. And again, this page has no master, and the cover has no master. So we're not getting that text up there at all. Okay. So, you know, again, that's the beauty of the master pages. Now the page numbers are all in place. They're all lined up the way I have them lined up. We don't have to manually do it. We did it one time. And if I add pages or if I move pages, that number will change also. Okay, so if I put in a second page, I'm going to go here. I'm going to just add a page. And you'll see I've got that header moment there. And then we've got the page numbers down here. And it's numbered 8 and 9. Okay, so again, it's a nice thing to do. Sometimes I do it in the beginning, sometimes I do it at the end. I know I'm going to be doing it. In this case, it's very minimal ideas or things on the master. So it's not making a real big difference from a design standpoint. And I'm kind of keeping it outside of, in this case, my margins or my guides that I put in. So I know everything is outside of that. So I know I'm not going to have a problem. Okay, does that make sense, guys? I want to kind of use a master page.
All right.
Okay. Again, if you, those little things kind of like oh, that looks real, looks legit. It doesn't seem like something like a page number makes a difference, but it does. Okay, and of course, as we get into longer documents, you're going to want those page numbers because at some point you're going to actually have a table of contents and all that kind of things going on with the magazine, so you can get people to specific articles that they're looking for. All right, so now we have the back cover. Again, I'm going to kind of keep it pretty light. And I want a picture, and I know we're at like 8.5 by 11 as our formatting size. So let me see if I can get Photoshop up. And I'm gonna just review working with raw files. As we near the end, it's been a while since we chatted about raw files. Again, it is the way to go. I got a new phone. I haven't even done it yet, but I got the new, finally updated. 3 years with the old one, so it was time to get a new one. And it will allow me to shoot raw. So Apple has got a thing with their phone now that lets you shoot raw. I haven't done it yet or experimented with it. It does take up much more file size, and it tells you that. So, you know, keep that in mind, that you probably don't want to shoot raw for, you know, every, I don't know, photo of a hamburger that you shoot, right? I mean, there's a point where raw would be beneficial. You know, you're on a vacation, you're in Hawaii, you know, it's all cool, and you might want to do something with it later. Maybe like even just kind of blow it up, put it on the wall. Having that raw capabilities would be a benefit to you. But again, if you're taking a picture of the hamburger and you're going to post it on Instagram, what you ate for dinner, you know, probably not needed. So I wouldn't recommend keep it on raw all the time with your phone. It would just obviously take up a lot of space. On your digital cameras, no big deal, right? You've got pretty large chips in there, and you're going to download things quite often. You know, I'm always downloading and taking, once I get it downloaded, I just erase it. On your phone, we tend to keep our pictures. Do I know that? I've got like 35,000 pictures. And every time I go through, I clean them off, and then sometimes it doesn't clean off and it backs up to the, I don't know where the stuff is half the time on my phone. Did it back up or not? So keep it small if you can, but when they do have an important moment, by all means, shoot raw. And I'll try to shoot with that and give you guys an update on that. Let me just find my Sequoia pics again. So again, I have a vertical format. So that might be something I want to kind of consider as I'm looking. Obviously, if I have pick a horizontal photo, I'm going to have to enlarge it to get that height, because of the aspect ratio is different. But I think here I've got like a vertical. All right. So again, I lot of times do the JPEG just to kind of see, is that what I want? And this one's pretty bright already, but I'm going to go with the darker one, just so we can kind of adjust it more. So I'm going to open it. And again, we've got the raw file. Let me get my window cool down for you guys. And we can see, you know, the composition's okay. You know, but there's a lot of shadows going on in there, and I think we can probably make some adjustments there. So first, I'm going to just kind of bump the exposure up a little bit. See what I got going on in here. I'm going to go too far. You see we're like ghosting out, but I might be able to pull that back. Contrast, I'm going to lessen the contrast a little bit because I do have some darks. And if I pull the highlights down, I'm going to pull that down to keep that trees. I want to keep the trees in there. Pull some shadows up. Whites down a little bit. Blacks up a little bit. Now my temperature is not too bad. We're pretty green. I might pull it just a little bit greener, not too much, but I want to, you know, I like the pop of green. And then let's kind of pull the texture and the clarity and the dehazing. See, that's going to make a big difference there with the hazing. All right, so I can pull that up. A little vibrance, a little saturation. Remember, sometimes when you're looking at things on the screen, you're getting the light coming through it, right? The light is coming through the screen or through the picture. So it's bright, it's more vibrant. When it prints, we're gonna get reflective light. Okay, so the light is gonna literally come and bounce off the paper and come back to your eye. So that's reflective light. So things are gonna be darker, okay? So if you take the same photograph and you printed it, it's gonna look darker than it looks on the screen. So you'll figure out over time that it's okay to kind of bump things up a little bit so they print a little crisper. Okay, so don't be afraid to do that, to kind of maybe, I don't want to say overdo it, right? If I overdo it, like this is like too much, right? You can just see that's like the colors like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. We know it wasn't that wet. But instead of keeping it at 0, just pumping it up a little bit definitely helps. Likewise, with the kind of brightness contrast, you tend to kind of bump it a little bit. Okay, so know that that's, you know, a good thing to have when you're working. Okay, and we're not too bad there. Let me just kind of look and see what else I want to do. The curve is there a little bit. Let me pull this up a little here. Okay. And then detail, I think we're good. I don't want to go too far. If I go too far, right, we start to get grainy. You'll see that. See how grainy that got? It's really not that grainy, this photo. So I need to kind of pull the sharpening back a little bit. It's actually probably too much. And I think what I'm going to do is go back up here and pull this clarity down a little bit, just to get rid of some of the noise that's going on in there. All right. So it's kind of a give and take. I think where color is pretty good with that. But again, we can kind of go through and highlight or bring things up. So maybe the midtones down a little bit, the shadows a little brighter, and the highlights a little darker. Okay, and then I could do a comparison. See, here's where we were. Here's where we are now. So you can really see that difference of what you can do with a raw file. You can kind of really pull the picture out with that. Okay, and then I'm just going to open. I could open it as a smart object. I'm just going to open because I'm not going to really do too much with it. Now, topography wise, anything type wise, I'm going to do that in InDesign. So I'm going to add type to it once I get this picture positioned in here. And I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything else I might want to do here with it. I think we're okay. Rotation. Just look in filter effects. I'm actually going to give it let me give it a little lens, a little blur. Just a little bit. It's going to just kind of soften it, give it a glamour glow kind of feel. You can see that here. I'm going to pull that down a little bit. I don't want it so much. Just a nice soft. So I just basically softened it up. There it is here. And here's kind of like, I don't know, we'll call it a glamour glow, right? Those old glamour shots, if anybody remembers those. Just kind of like get a little bit of a dream effect. And then I'm going to just save, right? Just save as, and we'll put that as, that's fine, desktop. And we're just going to put it into the folder, the default. Max quality. Again, I always do the max. I know it's 15, but don't worry about it. It'll be less when you actually look at the file size. Okay, but you want the good quality. When you get into printing and doing stuff like that, you definitely want a better quality. So don't skimp on that. All right, so now we're back into InDesign, and I'm going to drop my picture in. Command D. And we went to Fullerton. Excuse me. There we go. So we've got that there. So we're going to kind of position it. I want to fit the contents to the frame. That's too much. So even here, you can see we've got the picture a little bit narrow for this page. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I don't want to distort it any because you can see here if I do this fit, it stretches it a little bit. And it's not too bad, but what I'm going to do is actually enlarge the picture itself. Okay, so I can select the photo. And I've got the gold arms here. And I can actually just come up here, right? And I'm going to link these. And we're going to make the width. We're going to make it 8.775. Cool. So what we did was we enlarged the whole picture. So the picture got taller in order to make the width that I wanted on my page. Okay, now it looks like we're close. Let me just double check here. Yeah, okay, we're just outside of the photo itself. So that's good. Let me just zoom in and double check it. We're good there. Over here, we need to move over a little bit. And down, we're good. Okay, so again, we want that bleed going off the page. So when it does print, it will print without getting kind of an edge on it. Okay, so let me just show you with that edge if you didn't do it. So we're in preview mode here. Okay, what happens up happening is if they cut it a little bit short, you could get a little white edge there. Okay, now it probably won't be that exaggerated, but if it's off by just a little bit, you get a little white edge if they print it just a little bit off or they cut it a little bit off. So that's why we kind of make this bleed so we don't have that potential issue down the line. Okay, so it's going back to normal here. Now, again, I'm just going to put, maybe I'll just put a saying. Everybody loves those little quotes, right? Let me do a text box. Just drop it in. And let me go find a John Muir quote. John Muir, for those that don't know, late 1800s, was kind of instrumental in some of the conservation efforts, in particular at Yosemite. And he was a immigrant from Ireland, or Scotland rather, and grew up in Wisconsin, and literally he literally walked from like Wisconsin, Indiana to the Gulf. Okay, crazy. The guy walked. I mean, like who would think it's like kind of walking across the country. It's like a Forrest Gump kind of thing. And then he eventually made his way out to San Francisco and walked from San Francisco to Yosemite. The guy liked to walk. Stayed there for a while, worked for a while, ended up finally getting married. He settled in Martinez, California, which is just outside the Bay Area, a little bit north of Berkeley or northeast of Berkeley, and wrote many books. And again, was instrumental with the conservation of not just of Yosemite, but Mount Rainier and many other natural places. And wrote many books. So obviously he has some quotes. And the clearest way to the universe is through the forest. So there's more to that. Let me get that. Where are those coming from? And he's got several good books. You can get most of them. You can kind of get them up online because they're out of copyright, meaning you wrote them so long ago. You can kind of do what you need to with them. Oh, you're being slow here. Come on. He's famous for the mountains are calling, I must go. You may have probably heard that one before. Okay. Now this is everybody. Okay, let me go up here. I guess that's the quote. So we're just going to do that. Boom. We got that. I'm going to bring that back. Well worth kind of reading this stuff. It's kind of interesting to look at. And again, it's just, you know, kind of, it's nice outdoor inspirational kind of things. So we're here on white. Again, we're going to pick our typeface. And I'm going to go back to that menu or Newsville. Again, as you work, keep it limited, the fonts, 2, 3, 4-ish. Don't go nuts, right? If you have a different font on every page and every different paragraph, it gets nuts, right? People are like, what the heck are you doing? So you don't want to do that. You want to kind of keep things within reason. You know what? So these are all the ones I've been using. Let me do this one. So I want a little more control. It's too much. Too heavy. I like black, the colors, but that's a bit much. All right, so we have that there. Now I'm going to just kind of, we know it's John Muir, so I'm going to keep his name in there, but I'm going to put that on the next line. And I'm going to give that kind of a, maybe a light. There we go. And I'm going to actually, on that part, push him over. Okay, so we've got that there. And I'm just going to position this the way I want. Back cover, again, it's just kind of fun, have a little, you know, creativity, work on some pictures, put in some type. You could also, again, put in what's coming next issue, or just kind of even a little small story, right? You got a picture and you want to talk about, in this case, this grove. So maybe it's just kind of labeling the grove and what it is, you know, and I can put even down in here kind of what that was. Grants Grove. We'll make that white so we can see it. So I'm just kind of like almost a captioning here for this photo and here. And I'm going to do that because it is a, I'm just going to go a medium metallic. Okay, so we just have that down there. Again, I got outside. Remember, I got that little warning box. Okay, I'm just going to stretch this out so I know we can fit that in. And we've got that down at the bottom. I'm going to go a little bit further down. All right. And I'm going to just do a preview just to double check everything. I do have one error kind of coming up down here, so I want to see what that is. Pre-flight panel, that's going to show me I've got text on over text. Over is that text. And I know that that's a page up here. It's going to take me to it. Right here, you can see I've got continuing text, which I knew, right? This article went on further than it was. So that's telling me you've got a problem. I'm not worried about it. But again, in real life, I would have to make this shorter, go to another page, whatever it happens to be. Just letting you know. Okay, so we're okay there with that issue. So when you get an error message, just kind of go down here, open the pre-flight panel, and that'll come up and show you what that is, and you can just kind of click and it'll take you to that error. Okay, it'll take you actually to that page. So you can see that. All right, so I think we're good. We're there, we got numbers, we got a quote on the back, looks good. All right, so let's save this and go from there. So we're gonna just hit file save first. We've got the asterisk gone from our title, so we know we're there. And then we're going to go down here to export. Now, there are presets in here that you can redo. And again, we want high quality, and then there's press. So if I was going to a commercial printer, I'm going to send this off and they're going to print, 10,000 of these or more. You're going to want press quality. It's just the best quality. Everything is really high resolution. For us, just do high quality. I think that should be fine. If we do smaller, some of the pictures are going to get really bitmappy at this point, so I'm not going to worry. I don't want that. Just do high quality, and it comes up, and we've got that here, and we got the magazine as the title. I'm just making sure we're the same. Yeah, that's a good name. PDF, and hit save. Now it's going to pull everything together, so I'm just going to pull down, keep it the highest level, and we're going to just there compression. It's only downloading the 300, so if there's anything higher, it's not going to do it. That's fine. We're not. You can turn on the printer marks if you want to. That's the crops, the bleeds. The printer usually does this. I don't worry about it. But if you want to do that, or you want to maybe print things out, that's kind of good to do, to turn those on that way. Output is good. We're fine here. No substitutions. No security, but if you need it, you can put in a password. Okay. I wouldn't get into that habit, because if you do, then things kind of tend to get screwed up because you didn't tell them the password type of thing. But if for some reason you need something, a password, you can password protect it. And then we're going to export. It's telling me again, there's still over text. We know that, so we're going to just say go. Up here, we can see it spinning, it's thinking here. Things are running in the background. Now, the Creative Cloud's got some new things where you can share documents. Again, that's going to work really well when you're working in a cooperative work environment where you're working with other designers. You can share files back and forth. So they made it pretty easy to do that now. It used to be you had to package everything and send them everything, but now you can kind of actually work interactively with some of the programs. So keep that in mind as InDesign or as Acrobat, and as the Adobe Creative Suite gets more powerful, those kind of things are what they're doing. And many of these updates are things like that in the background that will allow you to work in a more interactive kind of fashion. And from a design standpoint, that kind of thing is good. All right, so let's take a look at that file. Where's my folder? Too many folders. They say a cluttered desktop is a sign of something. I don't know what it is, but it's a sign. God, I'm blind. Where's the folder? Where's our Fullerton folder? Let's see. There it is, hiding in front of me. All right, so boom, boom. We have the magazine, PDF. There we go. All right, so I'm going to open that up. And we've got page 1. Now, normally when you look at it, it's just looking right, it's just pages. So we want to kind of go to the view, and we're going to put 2-page view or scrolling. Okay, and we'll do 2 pages. And we're going to scroll up, make sure it did that. Yeah, so it did the cover. If it's not showing the cover, you can go here and show cover. Okay, so if it's not, if your pages get mixed up, see, that's kind of messed up. That's not right. So go to view, page display, and do it that way. So there's our cover. All right, and we'll zoom down. Our first spread, our second spread, our second article, and then we have our back cover. Okay, and that's it. And then let's take a look and see how big that file was. It's 12 megs. Okay, that I'm good with that, right? So you should come in probably about that when you're all said and done. That should email properly. If we have any problems, I'll let you know, but I don't think that should be too big a problem to send those files along at that size. Okay. And then that's it. You've got the magazine and you can go. So questions?
I forget.
You said about 12 megs there, right? That's kind of like the.
I'm sorry, say it again.
You said it's going to be about like 12 or 13 megs by the end of it, right?
Yeah, it should be close. I mean, it's going to be a little bit larger potentially as the raw file, but when you save it as a PDF, and again, just kind of saving it as a high quality, that's good, right? You don't need press quality that would be larger, so the high quality is fine. And the small, I think it would be just too small. Let me do it. Let me just do it and check here. I want to see if it's any major difference here, just for the quality. So that's still working. This one. Okay, so it's 544 kilobits. That's like less than a meg.
Yeah, it's super tiny.
Super tiny. Let's see how it looks. Well, it's not. It's a little blurry. You can see the kind of blurriness coming through on the type there. It's not terrible. I mean, I wouldn't want to print from it, but looking at it on a screen, it looks okay.
Okay.
So yeah, either one, either smallest or high quality. Don't do anything higher, anything bigger than that. You know, so if you typically have problems sending files that are big, just kind of do the small quality. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Other questions? This. Anybody come in? I think we got everybody for today. Who else are we missing? Okay. I got everybody. Other questions? All right, makes sense. So Monday we'll kind of quick review and stuff.
I just wanted to ask, so
yes. Good. Sorry.
that's okay. Sorry, I just wanted to ask real quick, is the girl in Italy picture due? Is that an assignment we needed to turn in, or was that like just for practice for us?
I'm sorry, say that again. It was gargled a little bit.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
The picture that you made us kind of edit a little bit, the girl going to Italy, was that an assignment that needs to be turned in, or was that a practice assignment?
No, that was just a practice.
All right, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that was just a practice assignment.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So Monday we'll kind of review some items. Use Monday as a time if you have stuff you want me to look at, like, hey, I'm confused, or what do you think? You want some ideas, some suggestions? We've got time Monday to share screens and take a look at things. So try to get your work to a point where it's like kind of there or almost there. You can show it to me. I can give you kind of some ideas or suggestions. And then we'll have them good to go for Wednesday. And we'll be done and ready to go to the holiday. All right. I promise grades are coming, guys. I do apologize. It's never been this bad before, but
I got it.
it's been nuts this semester. I don't know why. I've just been overwhelmed with everything. So everybody's doing good. So as long as you turn the stuff in, you're getting a good grade. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you much.
so much.
Have a good night. If you have questions, email. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday.
All right, see you then.
Bye.
Yeah, have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.